let's try the font box. The purpose of the font box is mainly to use to format a text. When I say to format a text, meaning to change the text size, the text color, the position, and so forth. So let's say I have assignment, the word assignment. Once I select my text, I can apply bold, italics. Bold means you want it to look a bit fat or you want to make some emphasis. And then italics means to slant the text, and then underline means to underline the text. So pause the video and then try. Type assignment or type your name, add the bold effect, the italics effect, and then the underline effect. This is the bold, this is the italics, and then this is the underline. Now, you see that there's a drop box down here. Already, I've told you that whenever you see a drop down arrow, meaning that there are more options there. So you can click on this, you can select your text, and then when you click here, you see different designs of underline. So we can choose this one, or we can go to more underlines and then we choose whichever we want to use. So I selected double lines and I have it there. So at the same time, we have the font text, the font type box where we used to select a particular type of font we desire. So I have so many font types here. I can choose whichever one that I want by clicking on it. Once I click on it, it will affect the text that I selected. So let me try using something which will really, okay, so let's use this one. Let me change it. Let's use, okay, agency FB. Now you could see that the text I selected has changed the nature of my text. And we use this one, which is the font size, to increase or decrease the size of our font. And one thing about Microsoft Office is that once you hover, when I say hover, meaning pointing your mouse on top of something. So once I hover my mouse on the text size, you see that it will be previewing the size of the text if I should select the size we have here. Okay. Now at times you could see that the size of the text is only up to 70, but that is not it. You can just select your text and then click inside this font size and then type the figure or the size, the number for the size you want. So let's say if it is 72, let's try 90. So you press enter. Now you see, even though we couldn't select 90 out of the options, I've been able to use the size 90 by selecting the text and then typing the size here. I can even increase it to 200. Press enter. You can see I have everything here. Good. So let me take it back to size 12. Now, we also have increase font size, which is this very button, and then decrease font size. Increase font size and then decrease font size. So let's have a look to what it will do to the text. Once you keep clicking, you see that your text will be increasing in size. And when you click on the decrease font size, it will also start to shrink or decrease the size of the font. Okay. Now, we also can change this case. When I say case, meaning either being capital or small letter. We can change the case of our text to the desired case. So now we have small letters. Once I click on this arrow, the arrow beside this main icon, I can select sentence case. And of course, sentence case is in its right sense of what we understand in English. Before you can start a sentence, you always need the first letter to be capitals. And that is exactly what we have here. So I select sentence case and the first letter becomes capital. Now let me try to get enough text to use it to edit our use it for our course. So let's try to invoke, or sorry, let's try to use the dummy text that comes with Microsoft Word. We type equal to, then we type random, then we bring the first number. Now the first number is just about the number of paragraphs you want. And when you type the second number, it means the number of lines you want in every single paragraph. So I press enter. Okay. Now we are talking about the change case. So we try to use some of the dummy tests we have with Microsoft Word. So before you can change the case of your test, you need to select it. So now let's try to select them and then see what happens. When we select the sentence case, you see that every letter starting a new line start with capital letter. So you have the W, the video, and then another. So you see that every letter starting a new sentence will be capitals. So let's try the other one. So lowercase, meaning we want to change everything to lowercase. It doesn't matter if it is starting or it is ending. So you can see that the V, which was supposed to be capital, is now small letter. The W is now small letter. The T here is now small letter. It tells you that everything in that paragraph is now starting with small letter and there's no capital letter. So we can go there again and then check this one. This one is uppercase. Uppercase means it will capitalize the whole text. So this is it. Every text within this particular paragraph has been capitalized. Let's try another example. We have capitalized each word, meaning that every first word in all the sentences in that paragraph will start with capital letters. So let's try and see. So you see that video is starting with capital V, provide starting with capital P, powerful capital P, W, the way capital. So that is it. It will start just be like that. Now the next one is toggle case. With this one, when we want every first letter of every word to be small letters. So let's look at something. Here you can see that the first W, the first V for the video is now small letters, while the rest are capitals. The P is small letter, whilst the rest are capitals. So that is it. So let's go back and choose our sentence case. Now we are left with strike through. Let's say we have a heading for our document now. Let's take political science student. Now, before we can do anything to the text, remember, we always have to select it. So this one is just saying strike through. Let's say we want some line across our text. And then this one, which is called text effects and typography, is more or less about how your text could be designed. So Microsoft Word comes with inbuilt design text effect. So you just click on this arrow. Just click on this one, and but then you focus on this arrow. Then click on it. You see we have so many types of the effects here. So the one that you desire most, then you select. You see that it will change the looks of your heading. So once you've done that, you can go forward and then increase the size from here, or you can just click here and then choose the size straight. Okay. Another thing that we have to know also under the font box is that we have the highlight, we have the highlight or text highlight color. This is what it does. Now consider the traditional way when you are reading a book and you come across some vital information, you like to use a lighter or a lighter marker to cross through in order to be able to recognize it the next time you are reading the same book. The same thing applies to this one. So if you want to highlight anything, you click on this icon and then you click and then drag it across the text you want to highlight, and then you leave it. You see, now it has highlighted way to help you prove your point. On the other hand, we can also decide to select our text, normal select, and then go and click on that button, that icon, and it will work. Now, let's try to explore what we have here. That is the arrow. We click on the arrow, then it takes us to different types of colors that we can use to highlight our text. So you go through and then you choose the one that you want. Good. Now we have font color. With font color, if we want to change the color of the text, I'm not talking about highlight. This one we are changing the color of the text you are seeing now. Like MA, like when you pick this one, the make, we have MAKG. I'm talking about this make. We want to change the text of the make, or possibly let's make the whole line. First, we select the text, and then by default, Microsoft has red under this icon, letter A. Well, I don't know why they chose red, but then that is the default color under that. So when you click on it, your text will be red, will change to red. You can see it from here. Then again, there's an arrow here, so we can click there and check what is there. Now we can change colors here. Whichever color we want to use, we can change it here. Right? Good. So we are left with two things under the font box, and those are the subscript and superscript, or somebody will say the base and then the exponent. For this, let's have some example like H2O, and we all know what H2O. Now let me change the font type so that you can see it very well. H2O. H2O is nothing but what? Okay, I will allow you to answer that. Now, with H2O, we know the 2 to be a base for the H, the hydrogen. So before you can make it a subscript, always remember that before you can format a text, you need to select it. So we select our 2 and then we click on the subscript. This will force the 2 to be a base or to become a subscript to the letter H. Now, try doing the same. Pause the video and then do the same. Good. If you're able to do it, that is great. If not, reverse the video and watch it again. Now, let's try to look at the superscript, that is the exponent. So we can have something like the date, like 4th, the T and H being a superscript. Or we can type a number and exponent. So this is what we are about to do. First, we want to type 4 exponent 2. So first you type 42, then you select the 2. Once you select the 2, then you click on the superscript. And then we have it there. Now pause the video and do this one too. If you were able to do it, great. If not, reverse the video and watch it again. So we are done with the commands we have under font box. And I told you that this is used to format a text.